RUZHOFF, Thoughts of an Introvert. Welcome into my head. Today I'm delving into the most painful lessons that life has taught me, raw and unfiltered. Our childhood traumas follow us a lifelong, way long into our adulthood. They follow us till eternity. And while I think about this, I ask myself, what are some of the childhood traumas that I do carry with me? Like I said, it's going to be very raw, unfiltered. And looking back and being a mom myself now, I look at my kids, look at myself, compare my childhood, and I notice, yes, there are some childhood traumas that I carry with me. Like I grew up in a family where my parents were very, very, very strict. I think most children or most people that grew up in the African culture can attest to that. So there was never so much room of you having a say. Like when I compare to my children, we do have dialogue, we do have conversation. Even when they do make a mistake, we talk about it. That wasn't really part of my childhood. The parents decided, and that's what you had to do. The parents were always right, which is not the case. I can attest to that as a mother. I've had moments where I've been totally wrong and I've accepted it that I'm wrong. There are times I still get to learn from my children. So we didn't have that as kids. And all these things affect us as adults, how our parents really parent us, their culture of maybe consequences, what I would say maybe like punishment if you're on the wrong, how do they treat you, how do they react to that? All this follows ways up into our adulthood. Life has also taught me that every human being should have a therapist, if possible. It is very important to heal your inner child. You know, childhood traumas and navigating day to day life most of the time require someone to hold your hand. Exactly why, one of the reasons why I started this channel. Look at me, consider me as a friend that is navigating you through life. We all need that someone at one point, and someone that is neutral, someone that is not family, that is not a best friend. And that's why I believe, just like we have a family doctor, it would be helpful for every one of us to have the personal therapist that you can turn to in time of need. If that inner child that maybe got hurt, that maybe got abused by its parents, if that inner child that maybe got bullied in school, that inner child that grew up in impoverishment, the inner child that had no self-confidence, maybe can get a chance to grow. And that can be truly and deeply done with the help of a therapist, I strongly believe. And I've also come to realize that through the life journey of my career as a social worker. Life has also taught me, and this is also very painful, that no matter how much you love someone, no matter how much you give of yourself, no matter how nice and kind you are, it will never, ever guarantee someone loving you back. Very painful lesson. Very, very painful lesson. I think we've all been there. It is something I would call unrequited love. Personally, it is very unfortunate because it's something that you can't do anything about it. I do believe you can't force love. We love who we love. Our hearts choose who they choose. And we have nothing or no control about it. But of course, the person on the other end gets hurt. I've done that myself, not deliberately. I remember while at university, there's this dude that was so smitten with me. Actually, it was beyond smitten. Up to now, he says I was his greatest love because we're still friends. This dude went up beyond and above to prove his love to me, to be there for me. Like he was actually perfect, when you come to think of it. But my heart, again, like I said, we love who we love. Our hearts choose who they choose. Oh my God, I'm almost crying. Oh, we're not beginning to get very raw already. Yeah, my heart just couldn't love him back. I loved him. I still love him. That's why we're friends. As a friend, as amazing human being. But I never, ever was able to love him back as a man, as a lover. And that is something that has somehow, I wouldn't say traumatized me, but it follows me, like there are times I feel guilty, there are times I feel sad, there are times I feel bad about it, to know that there was someone who loved me, a man that loved me more than I probably will ever be loved by any other man, hopefully not. But like he truly, deeply loved me, and he showed it and he proved it, through his actions. And I tried. I tried. I was like, okay, maybe I can love him. He's attractive. He's loving. But I couldn't. And for him, it was tough. We talked about that later, way, way later, when I was even already divorced, I think. And he walked me through his journey of unrequited love. From me, he walked me through the trauma that he got of me not loving him back, of being so in love with someone that could never love you back. And, I explained to him my side. He told me about his side, and that's how we're able to be friends. But it hurt so bad. But that is the life lesson. Painful as it is, I have learned, and we all have to live with. If you're lucky, they will love you back. But in most cases, or sometimes, it is something you can't do anything about it. So definitely, I walk through life this way. If I love someone, I love them. I'll give them my all, but I will not do it with huge expectations back. Of course, in a relationship, I expect, love back, but you can never guarantee that it's the same level of love that you're giving that you'll get back. Is it possible to have that? Yes, but you shouldn't focus on that because it will just make you miserable. People who love you the most, that is also another very painful lesson that life has taught me. People you love the most, people closest to you, people that are even family, can and will hurt you and betray you. Unfortunately, growing up as a child, and especially in an African setting, we're meant to believe family is everything. Family first. And I see it that way. I'm a family person. But with the years, I'm not 10 anymore, I'm not 18 anymore. I'm a well grown adult. I've learned that there's no guarantee that someone you love, someone that is family, will not hurt you or betray you, unfortunately. And this is how I understand it to explain it. Even when you are family or close friends, it doesn't change someone's personality, it doesn't change someone's character. So you could have a family member or relative that is just jealous of you, a family member or relative that just doesn't like you, unfortunately. And someone being a family member doesn't mean they can't be, malicious people, they can't be jealous people, they can't be unkind people. And that has nothing to do with where they are family or friends. And that is something that all my life I found very, very difficult dealing with. Growing up in Africa, we definitely have very extended families. So I have cousins, I have aunties, I have uncles, I have people that I even don't know how to categorize, but they're all my relatives. And growing up, I experienced this a lot. I experienced some family members, for example, who didn't like my mom, or family members who didn't think the world of my dad, but they were his siblings, for example. I grew up having cousins that I didn't really care about. Like, they were cousins, first degree cousins, but I didn't really care about. I don't care about them. Like, they are there, they exist, but they don't mean anything to me. So that is a very painful lesson for me, because I thought like family, relatives, friends, they are your ride on that and die. That's not the case, and that's the sad reality. Whether you come from an extended family or a nuclear family, because I see that also here in Europe, it's very common that people that come from families of just one sibling hate each other. At the beginning, it was difficult for me to fathom, but then with time, I'm a very reflected person. I was like, actually, you're being pretentious. What's the difference between you, who has cousins, first degree cousins, that you don't give a hoot about, you don't even care about, and someone not having a good relationship with their only sibling? So That's a life lesson that I've learned and I've had to accept, much as it's very, very painful. Speaking of family, this is very controversial, but it's unfortunately the sad reality. Family is not blood. Okay, I know most people take this very personal and feel, like, how dare you, how can someone say that? But I can assure you, in my years that I've lived on this earth, I have come to realize that family is not blood. And well, I come from an extended family, I come from a big family with many siblings, where actually growing up, like I said, it was important for our parents, for us to have a close knit relationship, to be each other's best friends. But as life goes on, through our walk of life, through our different experiences, you realize that along the way, they are people that become family and they are not blood. And that's exactly what I mean. For me, I believe family are people that choose you and you choose them. People that I'll be there for you, people that will unconditionally care about you, and in the best scenario, never hurt or betray you intentionally. Which again, you cannot, we expect that. We're like, if someone is family, if someone is my brother, if someone is my sister, they should love me unconditionally. They should be my best friends. They should never hurt me. They should never betray you. But life has taught me that's not possible. I've had people hold my hand through life that are not family, people that the universe, the world, and God has placed along my life journey to be my family. I do have a family, yes, and I'm glad I do have a family, but I've also learned that family is not just blood. Family is someone that chooses you. So even when your siblings, you share the same blood, you share the same DNA, you share the same lineage, but you have to choose each other. You have to want to be family to each other for you to be family. But sharing blood alone is not enough. And I'm speaking also for myself. I have siblings that I'm not close to. I have siblings that I wouldn't say I don't care about them, but I have siblings that I don't get to think about for months. And for me, that's difficult to deal with, because I'm like, these people are my siblings, they're my brothers, they're my sisters. I should be caring about them, I should be in touch with them all the time. But then I realize, for some of the siblings that I'm not really close to, it doesn't even really matter that I'm not, like, in touch with them, or I'm not close to them, which is very painful, which is very sad. Because again, growing up, I believed someone is blood, someone is family, and everything has to always be perfect. It's not. Again, it takes us back to, we are just but human beings. Whether we share the same DNA, whether we are blood relatives, we are just human beings. So if life, if the universe, if God blesses you with family along the way that is not blood, embrace it. Don't take it for granted. And even if it's just for a season, be thankful and utilize it. Because again, like I said, life is just but a journey, and some people will be there for just a phase of our life to lead us to the next level. That's how life works. So that is also another, I would say, one of the most painful lessons that life has taught me. Do not accept to be held ransom by culture and societal expectations. My darlings, I think this would have been a separate podcast topic of its own. Maybe I'll do it as we go on. I'll go back to me being a Black girl growing up in Africa. My, oh my, the African culture society is, to some point, like a cancer. Like terrible. Like, the expectations, and especially of a girl child, are so overwhelming, so unrealistic, so unfair, so traumatizing, that I can't even fathom how we end up growing into responsible, caring, respectful adults. The African culture society can be very intimidating, can be very harsh, can be very primitive. Yes, I know that is very controversial, but that's a fact, and that is a lesson that life has taught me. I'll give you a scenario and an example that takes us back to culture. And it also piggybacks again on the family topic. So, like growing up, like I told you, growing up in extended family, you have aunties, uncles, relatives. So, I remember some of the aunties that we didn't like at all. Like, we couldn't stand. Aunties that I know didn't like my mom, didn't like my dad, would come home visiting, right? And I can't forget or can't get the pictures out of my head of my mom being so hospitable, welcoming them, deep down knowing actually we wish they wouldn't even come to our home. But that is the audacity of the African culture. They come into your home and expect you to receive them with open arms. And for me, the most irritating part was always us as kids. You have to go, your auntie has come, you have to go and greet them, you have to be nice, you have to be respectable, you have to be humble. But deep inside me, especially during the times when I was a teenager and a young adult, I was like, why in the actual F do I have to greet them? Why do I have to smile with them when I really don't like them? I can't stand them. But again, it goes back to culture. We were forced, literally, to put a smile on our faces and be like, oh, Auntie XYZ, it's so nice you're here. Like, why? That is something I would never, ever do with my kids. Again, takes us back to family and all the other lessons that I've talked about, the traumas that we carry along. It wasn't necessary, but again, in the African culture, it will be viewed, how dare you not greet your auntie? How dare you say you don't like your auntie? But those are facts. So that is just an example. Another example is the culture expectations of a girl child. You're expected to be humble, you're expected to be submissive, and that leads to abuse. Everyone is going to abuse you, everyone is going to walk all over you, be it your family, be it your parents, be it your relatives, be it the neighbors. Again, you're a girl child, you're a woman, you're supposed to be humble, you're supposed to take everything with grace, including abuse. How sick is that? So that is one other painful lesson I learned. But all these lessons, when I look at them, it is very important for me to communicate that all these lessons have shaped me into the person that I am, the empathetic person that I am, the kind person that I am, but also the self-confident person that I am, because I never ever want to have BS in my life or have someone walk all over me. Moving on to the next life lessons. It starts with you. Yes, with you. You look at that. When you point a finger at someone, you're pointing this other one at yourself. So it starts with you and I, for all the change, for all the betterment, for all the things that we desire in life, it starts with you and I. So if you want to break the cycle, if you want to break the cycle of trauma, if you want to break the cycle of abuse, if you want to break the cycle of poverty, if you want to break the cycle of cultural expectations and so many other issues, you have to keep in mind it starts with you. Whiling and whining and crying about it is not going to change a thing, has never changed a thing. You have to do something about it. And you can't wait and expect others to do that. You have to take the initiative to end whatever it is that needs to end. You have to take the initiative to break the cycle. That's a lesson that life has taught me along the way and has been very, very key and helpful in my life. Life is a circle. Be careful what you put out there in the world, because eventually the circle closes and it all comes back to you. You understand me? Like, if you're a very negative person, if you're very unkind, if you're someone that is always putting stones in other people's way, at some point the circle is going to close and it's going to come back to you. Again, as you can see, these two fingers are pointing to you, these two are pointing to me. So we all carry the responsibility of how the circle looks like. So whatever you put out into the world is going to eventually come back to you. And like in Africa, they say it might not affect you directly, but maybe it will affect your children and your children's children. So be very, very careful what energies you put out there in the world. So many life lessons. Again, you're wondering, oh my God, how can someone learn so many life lessons? Like I said, I'm a full-grown adult with preteen children. So you can imagine I've really learned many lessons. And I believe I've learned all these lessons because I'm a very, very reflected person, maybe that is something you should consider if you are not a very reflected person. So I'm not someone that just walks through life with eyes half open, and I walk through life with my eyes wide open. I analyze things, I analyze my own actions and decisions. I'm very reflected. It is a good thing, sometimes very stressful, because again, as an introvert, we're overthinkers, we are overanalyzers, we look at things in detail, but it has its positives. And of course, I encourage you to be active and let me know of your life lessons in the comment section, because again, these conversations, this podcast is just a conversation opener that invites you into my head and requests you to give us a sneak peek into your head so we can have a wholesome conversation. Our life experiences play a great role in who we are. Every single one of us has experienced something that changed who they are, that changed their beliefs, that changed the core of what defines them. And we see that quite common, people throwing it around, oh, every one of us has something that changed them. Yeah, it's true. We all have been through situations, we all have experienced things in life that have changed us for eternity, positively or negatively, but definitely, absolutely, we all have those situations. I really think I don't have to explain that, but for me, I'm thinking of an example is my divorce. Much as it was my choice to get divorced, it has impacted me so deeply and changed who I am and changed my beliefs in marriage and relationships. You can check out our Navigating Life playlist. I have a video or a few videos about that. Growing up, I always romanticized marriage. I'm a love person, I'm a hopeful romantic. But ever since I got divorced, it has changed my perspective. Marriage actually, to some extent, scares me, but it's something I'll talk about in the next podcast. And that is one of the examples that I can give. Another example would be, maybe I've had people cross my life paths, actually not directly my life paths, but the life paths of people that I care about. And I've seen them get betrayed and hurt. And that has also impacted me. Much as an introvert, or my personality, I'm not someone who gives people power over me. And I feel giving people trust is giving power over you. I don't do that, but I feel experiencing betrayals of the people that I care about has also impacted my life. I've also had instances where I've felt betrayed by people that are close to me, people that should actually be protecting me, people that should never actually betray you, but they have. And that has impacted me a lot, and how I view life and go through life. So that is definitely no brainer. Another life lesson as we wind up is never lose the child in you. I see people stressing about age. Again, I see that a lot on social media, and it's also common in the African culture, where people are like, people even use it to insult people. I've seen people being insulted, especially people that in the public eye, oh, you're too old, believing that it's a proper insult. When I'm like, that is so primitive and ignorant. These people are lucky to have had a long life. The people that have passed on in the primes, people that never got a chance to live their lives. And you're here thinking you can insult someone by calling them alt. Oh my God, that was German. By calling them old. Like, how primitive and ignorant must you be? So definitely, going back to never lose the child in you, try to walk through life always letting the child in you come up every time and now. And this is why, when we're children, we are betrayal free. We are, if you're lucky and you grow up in a good family, pain free. We are unbiased. We see things differently with different eyes. And this is something that can be very helpful in your adult life, considering that being an adult is not easy. you know so if you lose the child in you, I personally believe it makes life even harder, more difficult. But keeping the child in you helps you see life in a different perspective. In certain situations where you would have been stuck and been like, oh my God, if you let the child in you come out, it can be very helpful it can be very comforting, it can be very soothing, and it makes life more fun and more interesting because, again, children are very honest people. Children do whatever they feel. They don't really think about consequences. And that could help you be more chill and fun in life. So definitely never, ever lose the child in you. You can achieve everything you put your mind to. And I can tell you, I'm a testimony to that. Growing up, I had, like, today what someone would call their drawing board. I never really had that, but it was in my mind. I knew exactly what I wanted in life. I knew exactly how I wanted my life to pan out. I knew exactly what I desired, much as I didn't really have a plan how that was going to come to fruition, but I knew exactly what I wanted my life journey to look like, And with the help of my parents, of course, offering me an education, offering me a good childhood, the help of the people that God has placed in my life journey along the way, my own initiative, my own character, and again, God has seen me achieve the things that I always desired. I wouldn't say dream of, but desired, because for me, it just always felt like it's going to happen, As a child, the things that I desired were for me. And again, that's why I say never lose the child in you. For me, it was a matter of fact. I was like, yes, this is going to happen. This is what I'll get. I'm going to have a family. This and this is going to happen. Some things, of course, you don't have control over them, but I still believe it is possible. You just have to have faith. You just have to trust God's timing. You just have to put in the effort, and it is possible that once you put all that to use, put to use all the circumstances, the people that God places along your life journey to guide you, to help you, they'll make all that possible. So where you can start from is by believing in yourself. Another life lesson, or something I've learned about me through the life lessons that, life has offered me, is betrayal is something I can never forgive. And I wouldn't say I'm a very unforgiving person. They always say forgive and forget. It is tough. Some things you can decide to. So this is how I do it. I don't hate people. I don't hate even a single person in my life because, again, I'm so busy living my life, and my life is so precious. I don't have time to invest in hatred. If you're going to hate someone like really, really properly, you really have to invest time. I don't have that time to waste on negative energy, on hatred. But one thing I know, and I somehow feel like I don't have control about it, is how I feel towards betrayal and lies. I find it very, very difficult to forgive someone who lies to me or betrays me. Does it mean I'm going to be stuck there and be thinking of all the times that you've hurt me or betrayed me or lied to me? No. I'll move on, but it changes our relationship forever. There's nothing you can ever do to change that. There's nothing you'll ever do to make me trust you again. If we were close, if it's like in a romantic relationship, our relationship has changed forever. If you betray me or lie to me, you'll stay in my life. I'll still talking to you if you're family or friend or someone that I really care about. But definitely those are two things that I don't think I'll ever be able to learn how to forgive in this lifetime. Maybe in the next lifetime, if there is any, but it's definitely something that I cannot forgive, and that is for my own peace of mind. But I can also never forgive because once I lose trust in someone, it is forever. Unfortunately. Finally, one of the, I wouldn't say painful, but, or to close it all, we like to be positive here, being a social empowerment channel. I would say I've learned that human beings in general are kind, But like I said, we all go through situations and experiences that change the core of who we are. So some people are unkind because of the experiences they've had in life. Some people are unkind because they are just who they are. But in general, we human beings are kind, and no one is truly out to destroy you, to hurt you, to harm you. But life just happens. And that's why you have to protect your energy. Like in my case, where I don't forgive betrayal, I don't forgive lies, I just move on and, cut you out of my life, or just don't trust you ever again. But in general, you have to keep the outlook that we human beings are not innately bad people. but it's life circumstances, it's life experiences, it's our bringing, our childhood, the people that cross our paths in life, that all influence who we are and how we behave in life. So basically, you have to be kind sometimes. If someone is not nice, think of maybe the traumas they have to work through, think of the negative things they've experienced, think of them who have had terrible childhoods, and then it will make life much easier for you. So what I'm trying to say is, one of the lessons I've learned is I walk through life with grace. I give people also some grace and benefit of the doubt. I don't look at people and go like, oh my God, they're evil. Oh my God, I hate them. Though to a degree, being an introvert, I always keep people at an arm's length. The very few people, if any, that ever really get close to me, they're always, always at an arm's length. And for me, that is also a form of protecting myself. So my lovelies, I hope you've enjoyed taking a front row into my head. I hope you've enjoyed getting into the thoughts of an introvert, and definitely join the conversation and give us a sneak peek into your head, and let's have a conversation. I have always lived intentionally, but over the years, I have learned to truly focus on that matters, work on my life, traumas, and continue to cherish and live in the moment, well knowing that I got just this one life. I would encourage you to do that. Walk through life with eyes wide open, walk through life with the child in you right next to you, walk through life with positivity, faith, and may life always be kind to you. So let me know once again what your life lessons are. My lovelies, thank you so much and welcome into my head.